Okay, we'll do a little quick tour of the interior. Just general storage, original med kit. It's empty inside. Here you have the ignition, the starter button. These are the headlights. That foot switch down there, that's the high-low, low beam. Standard, clutch, brake, gas. These, off the top of my head, I don't know without the truck on, but basically you have dash lights, heater, and what else do we have here? Window wipers, left and right, and we have the blinker, which is this one. What else do we have? I can't think off the top of my head. Anyways, handy rifle holder. Here's your coolant. This is a secondary throttle. You use this for if you're off-road and you want to just hold on and steer. You can put this in crawler gear and just put this in a setting. It's also good for parallel parking. Here's your choke. So when you start the truck, you want to pull that all the way out. Maybe just short of all the way out. Start the truck. Once the car's warmed up to above 160 basically, put that back down. Here you have the old ambulance electronics. There's no lights hooked up. As far as the truck, here's a handy little diagram, tells you all the steps of the transmission. Basically you have on the fly locking differentials, you have the emergency parking brake, you have your transmission, and then you have your forward and reverse. It's all explained here, but basically reverse, you always shift down to your crawler gears, which are the 1 and 2, and then you can shift between forward and backwards quickly. Once you want to get going in road speeds, you're in forward, you switch from the neutral and the forward gears to the neutral and the road gears, and then it's a 4-speed. It's pretty easy. An important point is I always do this with the truck when I'm going to store it for more than a couple of weeks, just to make sure that the ethanol and the fuel doesn't come up the carb. I let the carb run dry. So there's a handy fuel selector switch here. You have off, you have the reserve tank, and you have the regular tank. So I put it in off, and then I just let the truck idle until it cuts off. It takes about a minute or two. And then to start it, what you want to do is you put it back into the primary tank, and you start the ignition. The fuel pump kicks in, and you can hear it, make a certain sound, and then as soon as fuel starts going through it, which takes like 10 seconds, it'll start making a different sound. And then that fuel's getting into the carb, and that's when you start the truck. Let me, basics of the Unimox. The windshield folds down, the top comes off, the window sides completely come off if you want, or you just open the flap. The doors can completely come off pretty easily. There's storage underneath this with tubes. Here's how you check your transmission fluid. You just pop that little port. Let me just show you the engine compartment. Take off these straps. This is good to know because since this is a carbed engine, depending on what altitude you're in and what temperature, you're gonna have to fiddle with this. So there you go. There's the engine block, and then there's the carburetor. That was completely rebuilt. There's a complete spare with a rebuild kit in the back. Basically, the only thing you need to know here is this little screw right there. That screw adjusts your the idle speed of the carb. So if you're dealing with really warm climate, you might be idling a little bit too high, which will get into the way of shifting gears at low speeds. So you just tweak that down like a little, not even like a half a turn, like a quarter of a turn, and it will drop the RPM so you can start shifting. Likewise, if it's a really, really cold environment, you can tweak that up, or if you're going up and down mountains and you're dealing with altitude, that's the little knob you'll want to deal with. I have it set for sea level, and I don't really ever touch that as it is right now. So you shouldn't have to touch it, but it's good to know. Alrighty, so that basically covers the interior.